We're going to do an introduction to switching. So you've got these 4 computers all connected to a switch. So as we're seeing these 4 computers, this is not a live switch config. It's a simulation, but it's a simulation that's kind of good for someone who's never really done this kind of stuff before. Because a lot of people are just used to what's called a dumb switch. What I want to do now is I want to put these 2 hosts on the left in a VLAN called red. So here's the network interface cards for the switch ports. Then I want to put these 2 hosts on the right in a VLAN called blue. Here's their respective interfaces. So you're going to see me on this switch. Now that I hit enter on the switch, I can type question mark and you can see what commands I have. So I've got connect, disable, log out. I've got show. Now when you show, a lot of people will show run, which is the running config, and they'll show start, which is the startup config. And as you can see, I don't have any of that implemented, right? So it's an unconfigured switch. So what I'm going to do, if you can look right here, I can enable, turn on privilege commands. So I'll enable, and now, did you guys notice my prompt changed? So if you can look at my prompt changing, I hit question mark now, and if you notice, I have more commands in this mode. Now, how many of you guys are noticing that this is just like Linux, where when you went to a privileged user, you have a hash at the end of your command prompt? With this prompt, and you kind of see where Cisco got this from Unix. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to configure terminal. So when I configure terminal, I'm setting up the interface so that I can talk to it. So what I want to do is I want to assign a VLAN. I'm going to say VLAN 10, and then I want to name the VLAN. So I'm going to name it red_VLAN, right? So I've named it, and now I'm going to say interface F01. So if you guys take a look at it now, this one, F01, this interface, I'm naming that interface and I'm hooking it to VLAN 10, which is going to be red. Okay, when you configure a switch, you can set it to 2 different modes. One mode is an access and another mode is trunk. If it's plugged into a user, so if a switch is connected to like a PC or a laptop or like a printer endpoints, that's going to be access. If you want to put your VLANs on this port, then you make it as a trunk port. So I'm going to set this to access port. So this port right here is an access port. Okay, so that means a user endpoint is going to be connected to it. So now I'll say switch port, right? Access VLAN 10. So now I've assigned this port to be part of VLAN 10. Now I'm going to turn around and work on this one. So I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to change my interface to 2, set the mode to access, and set it to VLAN 10. Okay, now I'm going to do number 3. So now I'm on this one. Now this one should not be red, actually. It should be blue, right? So that's what I'm going to do, and this one should not be part of VLAN 10. This one should actually be part of VLAN 20. So we want to do that right now. Let's exit, and now let's VLAN 20, and now let's name blue VLAN, right? Now I'll do the interface. Now this is interface 3, right? Yep, this is 3. Nope. This is 3. Okay, so 3, set it to switch port access, then I'll set it to VLAN 20. Now I'll do the same thing for 4. Set it to access, and then put it on VLAN 20. Okay, now what we want to do is we want to jump down here, and see it's got this button right here that says toggle instructions. So I can click toggle instructions, and I want to see if I've got this configured. So it says I've got red host 1 done, red host 2 is done. It looks like it says Bluehost is not done. Oh, that's not cool. All right, so let's refresh it. So I've refreshed it. I'm going to go ahead and do it all over. You gotta be kidding me. I even messed that up. It should have been VLAN 20. And it still says it's done right. Okay, let me refresh that and do that again. I have no idea why you made me do it 2 times. So he's like, so if you want to try testing it, you should set some static IPs. So for each address, set static IPs with the default subnet mask, and then we probably want to see if they can ping each other. Click on the PC, and now on the PC, I'm going to put in this IP address, and then I'm going to put in a generic mask. Okay, since there's no default gateway configured, I'm not going to configure default gateways. All right, so right now, let's say I go to, all right, so this is .1. So now I'll ping 192.168.0.2, and he can ping .2, right? And I can go here and I'll ping 192.168.0.4, and he can ping .4. And the reason is because he can ping host in his VLAN. Right? So the red hosts can ping each other, the blue hosts cannot, because we put those 2 in separate VLANs.